Welcome, everybody. Good to see everybody. As you can see, we have 3 locations in Uganda, and we're nearly ready to get going. All right, over to you, Annette. Let's start.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Annette here in Uganda, Bududa. We are so sorry. The ladies are coming where there is electricity. It's taking some few minutes, but we are very more sad and water that have been going on. Lots of discussion about women who have maybe managed to travel and be present at the summit to speak for themselves, directly affected, who cannot speak for themselves, but they have a lot of pain. We are not here to look for donors or to blame anyone, authorities or the rest of the world, but to exhibit the pain that hangs around the hearts of these women. The only female indigenous species who have decided to live in this land, like here where I am in Bududa. They are landslides, but they don't go away. You relocate them, they come back here. Those are so indigenous. They really love to protect the planet or the environment or the area where they were born. They are feeling more affiliated to nature than we do. We are having 2 groups. One group is here where I'm standing. They are yet to settle, then you will have to see all of them. Another group is in Kampala, the city in a suburb called Acholi Quarters. It is filled up with ladies who immigrated from a region in northern Uganda where there was war for 20 years. They have their own story and pain to tell. It's all about women and the water crisis situation. This space was given to us under UN, our subjects, but still we need to work together. That took place this year, the International Women's Day, that we have to use technology to empower women and girls. Acknowledgement or something else. We have a group in Karamoja. This is the area that has been suffering with drought, pests and diseases, and hunger to the level of losing lives of women. They are also said, Mariam, share their stories. Inconveniences, disorganization, all is because of female and male. So bear with us and we shall be set very soon. I think for now, I will hand over to you, Kase, to let Karamoja to...
Let's move to Karamoja and Miriam. Nice to see you, Miriam.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Here with me is a group of women from Karamoja. Karamoja is a semi-arid area in Uganda that has for long suffered the consequences of climatic changes, especially drought, pests, and diseases, as Annette had already stated. Previously, last year, we suffered from locusts that came and cleared the crops of the people. But apparently, the main pronounced problem in Karamoja is drought that claimed over 7,000 people in the previous year, and it's one of the reports that was running within the country. So here are the women, and I would give them time to speak out. You'll hear their voices, you'll hear their cry, and you will hear what exactly they are going through. Like Annette said, we're not looking for funding, but of course we are speaking, we're bringing our voices out to make sure that the world hears us, especially gets to know what we are going through in this other part of the world, and that is Karamoja, at the semi-arid area in Uganda. So here with me are a group of over 10 women. You cannot see them all because the laptop is small and we are not projecting, but at least you can see a few of them. Straight, I'm going to start with one of the women who will tell us her story and her experience. She's a farmer, and she has been facing the situation of water crisis for a lot of time when she was a farmer. Thank you so much. You're welcome. She's greeting us. She's saying hello.
Anakopana ita usang na rakitare akiru amam akipijek ina itaire mambore tolo muninkinya mana bo gubere ni boko ingabere ka kutele kiri ka ngi mamu ada dang mambore ria muni yodo bere rakare dang tuka ka kurungini.
Thank you so much. She's greeting you, and she's telling us that for a couple of years, Karamoja has been suffering from drought, and for herself, she's speaking from her own experience. She's a farmer. However much she has faced drought, she has never given up on farming. She keeps plowing, but the rains do not come. And even when the rains come, they also face the issue of pests and diseases.
Iborea rakaredwa mamu karedwa Iborean akimujana kwa pa kwa dingini Ani arai amamu bore. Ini arai nga kipi kelim. Ana ba kelim. Ini pe bore da kabala da bere. Wa bore ngini kirika.
For Karamoja, it's not that we do not have soil, it's just that we have a problem of drought, that even when you plant with hope, you actually do not get the harvest. And this is why we are starving, and this is why we are dying in large numbers.
Iduane, ina elimi aikuru, keta maikuru kara akilimi dang. Ina polone te ngimwene renga ngimwe dida kene buni abere. Kirika ngimwe kidonga kope wonit. Elapata betar pakita tai. Elapata kop nyanyuni ya bal kita tai mone ai kikweni mone ai. Kidongo shata kone kwankai kwene. Ara ni arai dik emam boretar ni arai wado. Tokona vane goro aikiru emam na elimi emam mam nyali bitar ne ara kop. Goro tokona vanga kiyong e people no ela tai kwezi.
We are crying so much as farmers of Karamoja because however much you put effort to plow, like today you can plow and see something that is green on land, you see crops germinating, the rain comes and it gives you it makes you think that tomorrow you're going to have some harvest. But because the rain comes seasonally, it comes at a certain point and it stops and it will look like you never plowed anything. And this is why we are crying as farmers of Karamoja that the issue of water crisis is killing us too much.
Oko kilipa gira cha kujiji kidwada kina ke kiruka inginya modada kimunje te to jogote cha kilipa dar toko na doane toko na dole esison lo itaire be adolo nyirwa lu taire itawo jek itawo bunta kure bun la ya kiru ne bunyoda mamilimi ne bunyoda mamilimi keta makara kilimi amabuti toko ne yartere da aku ko kipi la kalangi tungo ne boko ibe ai la tauni ama aku kipiku ko ko to yara ishamti ya kiyara na ya ma bare ne bo ne tauni o aloki ngatolom e mame ni ya vestinga uni yo tolom to ma be ko ya kala mam araji ka korong na rono ngina pipile yero da ka gogom aka titin.
The story of drought and water crisis in Karamoja is so alarming that we are apparently surviving on casual labor. We put our crops down, but because there are no rains, we are forced without any livelihood option, apart from going out to people's areas, going out to places. There have been children migrating out of Karamoja in search of pastures because the drought, the water crisis is not allowing them to harvest from their sweat. So they have ended up going out to the communities, the fair communities, to do casual labor to make sure they earn a living due to the problem of the water crisis.
Young. Eden kadwe kilipa ngitete do ada ku ikingara kido ada ku yango kipina kwa pana ai kipi ko tere do ada nyiri amoni ngichani ite ko ni yona ba katariel ebe nyevie meten kari mojong evi mona kwa kukainyo kara ya unta kujunga kipi ani ita ya ko ni kimuju to yela tolo dia ko kulo dukul bagi bo yete ngulu alala.
We are so committed to working hard because the only option we have is farming. The only option we have is growing crops. But now we have been weakened because our effort is not rewarded. Our effort is not paid. In case you can do anything for us, even if it means praying to God so that we get rain and then we plow and we harvest and we stop losing our children, losing our fathers, losing our parents and our elders to drought, to hunger, to poverty, even if it means praying to God to give us rain, please pray for us.
Thank you, Miriam. Let us move back to Kampala.
This is in the slum in the Banda around Kampala. The women immigrated from northern Uganda, the region that was affected by war for 20 years. They have their own stories to tell. Alan, Daisy, let us hear from your side. Thank you.
Yes, this is Jennifer from Kampala. So as most people know our story, we came along all from northern Uganda, where we were sometimes affected by war. So from there also, some of the areas were really affected with the droughts. As you know, northern Uganda is also just dry like Karamoja. We also lack water and people have to move from place to place to different places whereby in a day, you find someone carrying a jerrycan of water and you need to use it for bathing, you need to use the end of the day, you just get tired. for no good reason. We came here in Kampala, thought that we would find a good life, but still on the same water crisis, we are still facing the same problem whereby people need to go to the well and the well is a bit far. Above all, you have to cross the road, and you find that as young as our children are, at the end of the day, they the road and they are being knocked by the motor vehicle, whereby we expect such kind of things, but we have nothing really to do, and we hope for the better. So we are praying, come rain, come sun, at least when we have a rainfall, other people can fetch it to help them cook food, wash clothes, and at the end of the day, our children are safe. But as we talk for now, we still don't have the proper solution to the problem of the water crisis. So this is the second person near me. She's going to speak in Acholi, and I'll translate.
Anyala yab mangret atika loke Kampala bana pero mo no karma luenyo time Kampala kan wacha awon.
She's again taking back how we came along from the northern Uganda, where we were affected by war. So when we came here, where we are called like displaced people, we started working on the stone quarry. We stayed for all these years. When our kids, we cannot take them to school because we get little money from the stone quarry. So when we were having the war back in our homeland, we were not settled with the education. Up to now, we still have water crises. Some of our areas, the water, even when it rains too much, it can come inside the home, whereby people will fail to sleep in that house. Last year, we lost 7 kids because of too much rainfall. That was the problem we had last year.
On addition on what she was speaking, during rain season, we get contaminated water, so that our water is not good enough for drinking and using in our homes or domestic work. Even the distance between it plus the children, as we work, some mothers, we are single, so we take a chance of our children to go and collect water so that mothers can get food for the family. But otherwise, we get problems because we send children to go for water. We stay at home doing other work, getting food for our children. Then the children are knocked by the vehicles. That's another big problem which we have. Yet our children can go to school, or we mothers can be at home and do other work at home. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. Let's move to Karamoja. You are welcome. Please come back to us.
All right, thank you so much. We have other women going to speak, telling us their story. Are you welcome? Hello, everyone. The situation in Karamoja perhaps has not been the same. There was a time when Karamoja had a lot of food. There was a time when Karamoja was enjoying a lot of food. That was way back in early 1990s. But apparently, right from the time when Amin came into power, that is when Karamoja started experiencing the situation of drought and water crisis, to the point that there were people dying and they did not have a total for that particular year. And so as Karamoja, we are here rallying behind anyone who is speaking on issues addressing water crisis.
And then Adam boreng ni munyodang. Agibia maziogo na rang agibi ajuma dang adauna ngape kwa ngin. Elwaka ni ara no iya kemat am ni doli.
bringing us back to the home use, the water home use. She's explaining to us that in Karamoja, the situation is even worse at home. That is why you realize at some point that the water sources or even the boreholes that have been brought by the government to some villages, someone has to walk over 20 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 2 kilometers to get this water. And also this water, it's at some point used at home for home kitchen, for kitchen gardens, for watering kitchen gardens. And for women who are old, for the old women, they may not be able to walk all those long distances to fetch the water for home use. And for families that do not have girls, usually, girls are the fenders for the home in Karamoja. So you find that they face the issue of not being able to get water. Thank you so much.
Ani zuwa mam ne bunia kutele kirika ne bunia bere kirika.
Thank you so much. From me, I am speaking from the perspective of all women in Karamoja. I am one of the women who has visited, and for particularly my kind, it is quite hard that we cannot do anything on the issue of water crisis because we cannot walk. We are very old. So what does the future hold for us, especially the Karamojong old women who do not have the daughters to support them? What does the future hold for us? She's worried that she may not live to the life expectancy because she cannot survive. That's what she says. Thank you. Due to the water crisis, you realize that there is no food. So the young girls go out to towns to look for jobs to fend for the family. So for them, the old women who remain behind at home, they're not able to eat because they cannot walk long distances to access water to use for home cooking.
Emam akoro nakau bete awuni nyidalo mune eron akrianar to kanada iriana roi kangi moy amulu kiarete.
To conclude, Karamoja is a pastoral community. It's an agro-pastoral community that does agriculture and animal keeping. So initially, in the situation in Karamoja became worse in the second reign of Obote, and this is why the water crisis came in. She says Karamoja is an agro-pastoral community that does crop farming as well as animal keeping. And because of the water crisis, apparently they are no longer livestock keepers. They are no longer pastoralists. They have lost the animals. That is toppled by the insecurity situation in Karamoja. So the situation has become worse. Yeah, we're looking at a lot of the interplay of factors. There is water crisis making animals die, and there is also a crisis that she brought in, that is the situation of insecurity in Karamoja. And so she's asking, what does the future hold for us? Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam. I think that Bududa are set up now.
Yes, women in tech, I think now.
It started raining heavily that day when the mudslides began. So that day we heard that the mudslides had occurred, and we had people just running on their way that the mudslides had become. So we asked ourselves what had happened that day. So when we reached there, people had the mudslides had taken people, and we were also very surprised what had happened. So we had found people's pieces of the bodies. They had removed the legs, the bodies, and the ears. People had lost most of their lives. So people were like pulling out the bootses of people, but it was not the case. People were just removing people's hands and people removing people's ears. We were very surprised to see what was going on. So most of us were very scared when the rain came and we saw everything that had happened. We were very surprised and scared. Very surprised when most of the women were pulling out bodies, dead bodies, people's hands and people's legs. We were very shocked and surprised that we were pulling on because we didn't know that the rains had affected the population very much. So the rains had come, we were very surprised. We didn't know that that could happen to us on that eve of the day. So that's the story I can tell, and the difficulties we are passing through these hilly areas. Okay, thank you. That's the story. I come from the village of Navunua, from Navina, Bududa, Nanzuna, and Naboya sub-county. We suffered very much when the rains occurred. When the rains occurred, it took all our feeds, everything, and we remained homeless. So we remained as we were, and there's nothing that we remained with. All the rains went with the feeds, so there is nothing we are with up to now. The government has not come to our rescue for that time. So we have children we have to take to school, but we have struggled so much begging for the rescue of the government. Up to now, we have not seen rescue government coming to our rescue. So that's how we struggle, and that's how the mudslides have affected us. So we are struggling and seeking government's help. If the government had come in to give us rescue, we would be very far from now. But we have given our response, government has given deaf ears. So as the rains have begun now, we are also still fearing that right now, as we are talking now, the rains have begun. But we see no response from the government responding to our problems and our praise that we had tabled to them. So we have very many fears, but we are only hoping to God one day the government will ever come to rescue, or any people who rescue us. They should come at one time. They should come to our rescue, because we have given our hope to government, but we see no response. So we are in a very too much fear, but we have nothing to do. We only have to survive. So we are still struggling and looking at the government to come and help us and come to our rescue, but we have nothing to do. We still seek government intervention. But even schools, even the rains are washing away the schools, the classrooms, but we have nothing to do. We still seek government's help. As we still talk now, we have written letters, we have done everything, but we are still waiting for the government to respond. So I remain now to a grace seeking for government's response and revenue. Thank you very much. I'm called Wataka Aisha. Aida. When the rains began, it came and broke all our feeds, the banana plantations. All the feeds broke down. It left us in a very sorrow state. We are in a very bad state. Children are going to school, but we are still struggling, and there's too much hunger within the society and community. The hunger is very much, it's not on our side. We are still struggling and still seeking government's intervention, because we have written letters, but there is no response from government yet. So we are very bad off because of the state of sorrow we are in. Those are the things I can say, but we still seek government's intervention to come to our rescue. Okay, thank you very much. Those are my queries, but thank you very much. So we are very happy for you to come and share us this day with you people, but we are very happy and still seek government intervention to come in. We go to the wells, pick that water. They had built water wells along, but since the rains came, they washed away. So we still struggle with water. We still go to the wells and the rivers to pick that water. So those are the points I can make.
Over to you, Kampala guys. Alan and Desire.
Yes, good evening. I'm by the name called Grace Echel. I'm in Kampala, Banda B1. If I'm to hear the stories from Karamoja and Bududa and Kampala here, it's almost the same. We are talking about the water. Yes, the water is fine, it's too much. And work to women, you are seeing, our colleague you are seeing here, we are jobless. We have no any job we are doing right now, yet we are single mothers, some people, some are widows. And if we go back to Stone Quarry, as my colleague was saying, right now, everywhere people has already built. We have nowhere to support ourselves or to go and get what to do. Like, let me say, for feeding our children or ourselves. If we are talking about the water, yes, we can talk about water, but now we don't have what to do. What can we do? That one, we are praying so much to God that could help us and we should get what to do. As women who are cater for the children, who are in Kampala, renting houses becoming problems. And if I'm seeing the Karamoja and Bududa, the same with here. Sometimes you get water, rain, and houses fall, and people die. And we are still the same as Karamoja, as Bududa. We are praying that may God help us and we get the solution. Thank you so much. I'm remain Grace Echel.
Ana foya matek, ana tao Christine.
Shiro Christine.
Being in Uganda, not
So from northern Uganda.
Moi ganga kany ma gwok ge to pekoti lokumpi kermanena budu dagi kormujonge.
She has many people in her family. Just as you can hear people from Karamoja and Bududa are complaining, she also one of the person who is complaining.
Pekoti kany mi pi jemi ma chama kere jo kene ti kany ma konge leti yat ma monyo yat ma no pegi kero. Mumiyo yen kere chiene.
Here we have people who are HIV positive and going to the well to bring water is a problem. So even at the end, they don't have anything to eat.
Eto no miri mati no miri cham jemi anyway no miri yengi.
Of course, at the end of the day, you have to drink water and you have to eat food, being a human being.
Dogbe kamwa tuami ye pi ni ngolo guru peti ginu mama nyuru laide mo yor mutaka chung inu miri yengi.
Here where we are to cross the main road to go to make us go and fetch water, we don't have any traffic light or indicator to indicate that you have to first, the vehicle first have to stop, then we cross. So you find at the end of the day, children just cross anyhow.
Week mogomo karchan joma pol mo ruonyi lutieno gi loke ngolo yomi yenyo pia mara gi gina chama.
A week back, we lost many children here in the community because children were crossing the road to go and fetch water.
Pega mwati ye kan duong lokum cham ti jo kan mai chani bene chara yenyo gin ma chama no wan maginero maliel be futi kan mi gi ti yomi yere ki kan kum.
Here we also, right now as we talk, we have a problem in the community. People who go out to work, they came also with a problem, and at the end, we lost one of our members in the community who went to look for work outside the community. At the end of the day, the thieves just got him and killed him.
Manu pega ma wana ti ye lok madaka kum kan kamoina wa kwa ne mata ne wa bino bet kan olo wa kwa lo ti na wa bat wa no ni du jueng pega ni roma.
So that is a problem we are facing in our community here. When we were coming from northern Uganda, we thought we would be safe here in Kampala, but at the end of the day, all the problems remain the same, whereby we are still facing the same problems.
Piano pega kwan od miri pang miru chene ero miri weng yen jemi ni yen yu ango dong jemo do ta jol tiano mo kan tikany madong no fun wa kana tiri tika chate.
So here, most of our children even are not going to school because we really lack what to do. At the end of the day, a young kid who should be at school is ending their life doing the prostitution, which is unlawful.
Petelo ani la nyori pe gwa la tin gwa ba don kirmi gwa kana don o da tek be peran wa la tin cha ra nyora wa la nyori la bal er be pe ma ko ma dana ti mi dan ti mana fo.
When we say this, not that as parents we can fail to control our children, but the condition cannot make us control the children. At the end of the day, the child leave you at home to go to look for what to do. Thank you so much. That's what she had.
Thank you very much. Did we have another speaker from Bududa? And then we will go to questions from the audience.
Yes, Namalwalona is my name, coming from the sub-county of Nabwea, Bumangula village. We are living in a very deep, in a sorrow state. 4 days ago this month, the rains came about. On the 19th of this month, the rains came back. So we are not in a very good state of health. Our visitors who have come today, we are very happy to receive you. You people who have come on ground, if you would be of help and tell the government, maybe one day the government would respond to our cries. We are not safe and we are still worried. We don't know whether the rains will come in a good state like they came previous times. The water we collect, we come from the well. And the ones for the rain. We wait for the rain to come, then we harvest the water. When the children come from school, they come with a lot of hunger. So we do some cultivation, bananas, beans, but at times when the rains come, they wash away all the bananas, all the beans. So we still remain in the state of sorrow. When the rains come, the heavy rains come around, all the bananas and the beans we carry along, they are all washed away by the heavy rains that come. That the father of the children died a long time ago. That's what we had to tell you of our sorrows we have on the ground.
Thank you so much for telling us your stories. We have some questions. Okay, let me ask the first question. Let me ask for all the three locations. Let me put the spotlight on all three. So the first question is from somebody in the UK called Ines. She says, thank you for sharing with us your stories and realities. Please, can you tell us, how do you stay strong and brave in your situation?
Hello, I'm answering. She has said they stay strong because when these mudslides come along, when they wash away their homes, they leave their homes and go to the neighbors whose places the mudslides have not washed away, and they still stay with them and still do some little work for them. And they give them some pay for them to survive.
Okay, collecting the voices of the women that they've said. We read that question earlier on and I'd already translated to them. So I've been staying strong. This crisis has become part and parcel of them. It's not new. It's been there. It's still there. And how they have been doing it is fast forward. They have been engaging like earlier on casual labor, especially looking for work. But of course, I also have to add my voice. This is my voice that much as the women say they've stayed strong, it's not really the situation, because there are a lot of child migrants for Karamoja that have gone to bigger cities in Uganda, like Busia, Mbale, Kampala. There are a lot of street children from Karamoja. So saying standing strong, I wouldn't say that they have stood so strong, because this has weakened the community members. But from their voices, the old women say that there are government programs. For example, SAGE is social assistance grant for the elderly. This particular program is for older women and men. They are paid like 25,000 per month to help them to support. Of course, this is not adequate enough. They've also talked of NUSAF, that is Northern Uganda Social Action Fund, but apparently they're saying NUSAF is already phasing out. It's no longer in place. But of course, standing strong, I wouldn't really say that they're standing strong, because according to the news and even the reports, Karamoja lost a lot of people last year to the hunger crisis, over 7,000 people dying because of hunger. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Jennifer. Like the current speaker said, that we are not so strong. Indeed, we are not, because we are losing children and we are still having a lot of problems. But only that, for example, people who are in Kampala, being a camp, even back home in the village, you find that our land was taken, whereby when you plan to go back right now, we don't have a piece of land to go. That's why come rain comes and all this problem we are still facing, we are still going under through. So we don't have any other alternative as per now. Thank you.
Adding on what she was talking about, we are not, so it's not being brave enough, but just empowering ourselves because we are in need of eating. We are in need of everything to get it at home. That's why we struggle without our strength to get anything. But the challenges are there which we face, and that's why we need support in it.
Thank you. Let me ask the second question. So we have people from Paris, from Scotland, and GMD Rising. We have people from the Women's Climate Strike, and we have women in other countries. They all ask, how can we support you with our voices? We are not talking about money, but for example, some of us will be outside the United Kingdom Parliament. And what message do you want us to tell? And what other things can we do? How can the Global North, who caused the climate crisis, how can we support with our voices?
I have a lot of sorrow. How the rains disturb us even. The rains have disturbed us too much in Bududa here. The mudslides have cut us very much in the places where we live. We want to leave the places, but the problem is things are not coming out very well because most of our relatives were washed away by the mudslides. But God saved us and we are still living. Now we ask ourselves, what should we do? As me who is speaking right now, I have children that I'm living with whose parents died long time ago. And most of them just came with the mudslides who are not even relatives. But the problem is I came and settled them and made them part of my family. But in the life we are living in is not very safe. As the rains, as the mudslides take us on, we are very scared. And we think right now when the rains are beginning, we think that one time the rains will also. So we are still scared because all our soil that used to cultivate with went. So we're asking ourselves if these people can come around, people who can come to our rescue, that we can get those soils that we can still cultivate with. So even the places where we are staying, we have a problem of fetching water. We still take that dirty water. We have no rescue where we can get that good water we can take. So we're asking ourselves, what can we do to get that good water we as individuals we can take, not sharing them with those cows and other animals. We're asking ourselves, what shall we do for us to be safe and get some good water? So as ladies, we're also looking at ourselves. If we can get places and we can save ourselves, not looking at many issues. So we're asking ourselves if we can get to places where we can cultivate bananas, we can beans, at least we can survive as individuals, not looking at men as our sole breadwinners. Even the children we are staying with, who came with people that the mudslide, whose parents the mudslides took, have come and we are staying with them. When you're still in a state of sorrow, look after them because we are living in a very difficult time. So me as a person of the village, those are the things, those are my stories that I was telling. Those are the stories and the stories I was telling you as an individual.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
My name's I'm called Nawire Sarah. I come from Hamapis village. Hamawot Nanga Hot Town Council. We are living in deep sorrow. We lost most of our relatives through the mudslides. Even part of my land was cut off. I'm now staying on somebody's piece of land. I left my land long time ago. We have children, we are just there scattered. Most of our relatives died because of the mudslides. The conditions have not been good since then. We are living in a state of sorrow. In this time, we are in the times of rains. Even if it's raining right now, we are very scared. We are very scared that even right now, if these rains come heavily, it will still come and attack us. Even right days back, it rained and it spoiled our banana plantations. Even the beans that we had planted, they all went away. So we're in life that we don't even understand. We don't know what we shall do. We are just living in that state, a confused state, but we don't know what to do. So as mothers, most of us are here saying as mothers, but most of the fathers have run away and left us homeless. They have crossed over to Kenya because we are bordering Kenya. So they have crossed over to Kenya to go and struggle and get something for us as a family. But things are not easy. For us mothers, we have stayed in the community with the children, but we don't know how we'll help the children because we are still struggling and the fathers are not around with us. We used to plant those banana plantations and get that coffee. That's where we would to get school dues for the children. We are bad off, but we don't know what to do. So we have come. We are very happy to receive you to come and teach us. You never know. God might get his plans through you people coming on ground and celebrating with us this day. We thank God for connecting us from you people, these village women, to come and connect with us. We hope that the future will be bright. Me have ended there because of the state of sorrow I have in my heart.
The mama you see here said that much as we are speaking out to the people, we are speaking out to be heard. If possible, we should also lobby for them to be supported, especially in times of crisis. That's what she has said.
The rains came and spoiled our banana plantations. And those are the banana plantations we used to sell and pay school fees for the children. We have a lot of sorrow. We have children who are orphans. We used to sell those banana plantations and then pay school fees for them. When the mudslides came, it took everything. Even the beans we used to cultivate were also taken by the mudslide. But even a kilo of banana beans has raised too much. So we are now struggling with the children. Even the water is not there. We have a lot of problems. When the mudslides came, they took all our relatives. Those relatives that the mudslides took are the people who would have helped us in such a situation. In the Bududa homestead, what we do to survive is planting the banana plantations, then sell them off, and the beans. We are asking for your help. You as people have come to ground to send our message. if God can pass through you and you people should come to our rescue. If a home has remained with only mothers, you cannot manage. So in the times of harvesting water, we only wait for the rains. When it rains, then that's when we harvest water for drinking. Because when it rains, sloping down to the well is very hard. We really suffer to go there. I remain Casper as my name.
Thank you. Annette?
I thank you very much. That God should always bless you.
Thank you so much. We have some people I would like to call on them to put their pictures on from the audience. And they have some questions and some messages for the ladies here.
Thank you for sharing your experiences with us. I'm not sure, I feel like we're asking you to solve the problem as well with this question, and it may be a question for us, but how do you think women can work together, both in Uganda and with us here, your international sisters, to ensure that improving water security becomes a really important priority for your leaders, for our leaders? And is it because this is seen as a women's issue that not enough is being done, do you feel? How can we amplify women's voices? Thank you.
Uno wengwa mikilo kachoka eni wekwanwa winye wekegu anamoro uno weng kitu miero waribe kede miero chalo wan kan watika teaching mo mabejo watika yubu tiko watika timuje makul ma watika yubu ne ento yu mu miero wachare wanong kede chene pere.
Here in Kampala, women are just not seated. We are doing some other work, but the problem is that we don't have the market. So she's trying to explain if our voices or the work of our hand can be taken to the world market and to be shown there. And in case if all that work, then we can, through that work of ours, we can create water tap whereby it can try to save our life, which would be so much important. Thank you.
Be ana foyo adugo anya mangret one tiki tid mawatiyo ne nyetie ena ye karatat makengero ke wa wiu da otiko ke tiche enu ne ke konyo wan me ter wan ichuk madire atam ne gen ene ramo konyo wan pe ngol gen ene don ke fonyo ke wan wati muatimo mabe.
So as you can hear, that was Florence speaking. She's talking about the work we do. Margaret, I mean. So for us here, we make paper beads. And with that paper beads, we have hope in case if there is a world market whereby we can sell our beads, we know with the work of our hand, we can create a good environment for our people.
Thank you so much. Here, Grace Echel, still. I do say it. Standing still needs someone to support. Our voice to be heard. We are praying to God that may you people take our voice. As my colleague was saying, we have crafts we make. These waste papers, for us, we change to be beads, whereby women wear them. Some people buy, but we have no any market. We have no any support. I remember we were making it, and it also saw them, and supporters buy some and go with them. I think if we do that, we can support one another. Not only we, even Karamoja, even Bududa. They can learn how to do that. And we do support. Thank you so much. May God bless.
Thank you so much. This is Mebo again. We do appreciate the people whom you sent to us to raise our voices. Had you not to send them, you would have known nothing from us. So we appreciate so much for the people whom you send here. They come, they reach, they speak with us, so that also you can know what is on the ground. We appreciate with that. In addition to that, we pray God. It's not only to fund money for someone, but to raising a voice is so good, so that someone can get a well-wisher somewhere. That well-wisher can come and assist in any small thing. Though to get 2 taps, then we shall at least say that that is good enough for us. Because here people can walk and sell their bananas on head, they sell mangoes. So that means we are hardworking women. We only need our people to back up us. When we get backups, then we shall get a very beautiful women in the world. We do thank you so much for your work you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think that Jennifer also wanted to say something, and then we will have Mary, and then I think that is our last question.
So rather than kind of ask a question, I feel like you've given such a wonderful response. I wanted to start by saying thank you for sharing your stories, but also for sharing your, like, being honest in the response. You know, when we asked, how do you stay strong through all of this? It's really, you know, there's solidarity that we can feel when you are honest and say, do you know what, we're not able to stay strong. Too many people have been taken from us. And, you know, just want to share a message that our hearts are breaking with you. That I'm sure that sometimes it feels like the Western culture, the global North, is ignoring you whilst causing this crisis and causing your suffering. But please know that there are many of us in the climate movement who hear you, that listen to you, that want to work with you. That the climate movement is rising, and I really I hope we do enough, and I hope that we do it in time, that you can feel the consequences, that you no longer have to suffer as a consequence of our actions, and that you can have that capacity to feel strong again, and that, yeah, sending love and solidarity from Scotland. I've just come from a rally where we were talking about divestment. At this rally here in Scotland, we were talking about Stop ECOP. We know that it's dangerous for you to speak out, so we want and can be your voice. So it was more, rather than a question, just to share that solidarity and let you know that, yeah, we are amplifying your voice. We are speaking to support you. And just really hope that we can do enough, galvanize enough, and do it in time. But yeah, just all our love from Scotland.
I just, there's a group of us who are all going to surround the UK Parliament in a few weeks' time. And I'm just wondering if there's any message you want us to give on your behalf to the UK Parliament. They're not listening, but it doesn't mean that we can't raise our voice. What I'm hearing from you is I hear your pain and your sorrow, but I also hear that you want the means to look after yourselves, you know, and I feel great respect for you all as well. I just want to pass that on. Okay.
As the way we're struggling with the landslides now, all our feeds were taken by the mudslides. Even the children who go to school and have no help. We even have children we are living with whose parents died through the mudslides. So we are the ones struggling with them. So we have no help. We are just struggling with them, but we don't have that maximum help to bail them out. So because we are struggling and we have nothing, we even have electricity problems. From where we are, we have only come to the center to come and get to talk to you people because of there is electricity from the center. But where we stay, there is no electricity. We also struggle with the problem of water from us from the Nawea parish. We struggle too much with fetching water. So we have children who carry water from those hills, come down home. So we have a lot of problems for the children to go up, struggle carrying that water from there. Then they go to school. After a long day, and they're very tired. We as mothers, we struggle as much as possible to try that help. But still, as mothers, you know, you understand the life of mothers. We still struggle and don't reach through that help. Yeah, if we can start, even if we can be helped through those small scale businesses, we can still support ourselves. But as we talk now, we are still struggling. So most of our children, even those who finish P7, don't have a continuous program of continuing through skills, so we still have those problems we're struggling with. If our cries can be taken to the UK Parliament, we'll be most obliged through our pleas.
Thank you so much. Now the video time is over. We want to thank everybody. Could everybody put their pictures on now? We just send a little message of solidarity now. I think this has been very, very short, but I just want to say a big thank you to the women in Bududa, the women in Kampala, the women in Karamoja, and to especially Annette, who spent many, many hours organising this and bringing together all these women that she knows in different parts of Uganda. I think that probably a good plan would be for us to continue somehow communicating with these women as we move now to the big one. And we can bring some specific messages and photos and stories to the UK Parliament about what climate change is causing in other parts of the world. Just want to say big love to everybody who came. Annette, would you like to end this beautiful event you organised, and then we'll close the Zoom.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you so much, our interpreter, our coordinator in Karamoja, Mariam, Kampala team. Thank you all. We shall respond to questions in case they've been thrown in the chat later. Thank you, the tech team, the gentlemen in the background, Cassie, Giver,